Crime is running rampant in America. In Chicago, my hometown, it's raging, off the charts, and it has been for a very long time. In 2021, we're on pace to break a record for homicides set last year in the highly charged and violent 2020 year of chaos. So far this year, there have been 469 homicides. That puts Chicago on pace to hit over 770 homicides by the end of the year. That would match 2020's elevated number, 775 homicides, and blows away versus a, quote, normal year in 2019 when 501 homicides were committed. In fact, since 2016, there have been over 1,000 victims of mass shootings committed in Chicago. That's an insane number. Tragic, really. Now, folks, I'm going to show you a stat that will absolutely shock you. Over 1,000 victims of mass shootings. Here's the number of convictions Chicago has made in 5 years. Now, wait for it. Boom. 2. That's right, only 2 convictions in over 1,000 mass shooting victims in about 5 years. Now, that is just unacceptable. Criminals know this number. Don't think for a second these criminals don't know exactly what's really going to happen. It's literally next to impossible to get convicted of murder in Chicago. Cops are outnumbered by the criminals and gang members in Chicago. Cops are outnumbered by them and outgunned by them. And now that the conviction rate is lower than your chance of getting struck by lightning in Chicago, cops are increasingly becoming targeted by these thugs. Officer Ella French, say her name. Ella French was a 29-year-old cop on the street beat in Chicago's very dangerous South Side suburbs. During a very routine traffic stop, Officer French and her partner approached a car carrying Almonte and Eric Morgan. These 2 degenerate scum opened fire on the officers, killing Ella French dead at the scene. The other officer, who is unnamed, is still fighting for his life. Like the cowards they are, the assassins fled the carnage they created. Here's the actual 911 call from the scene, and I warn you, this is heart-wrenching to hear. I'm going to play it out because I want you to hear the emotion in this officer's voice when he rolled up on the grisly crime scene.
Whoa! Officer down! I got an officer down, 10-1, 6-3 in Bell. Officer down, shots fired at the police. Officer down, male black, a blue Cubs jersey. He's shot at the police. 6-3 in Bell. Give me some units. 713. Stay off my air, stay off my air. Everybody stay off the air. I got an officer down, 6-3 in Bell. Start rolling. I got an officer down, 6-3 in Bell. Officer shot, officer down, 6-3 in Bell. Give me some units. I want a perimeter set up in the location looking for a male black in a blue Cubs shirt. A blue Cubs shirt with a male black. Perimeter set up 2 blocks east, north. And wearing all black. Okay, I got a all black. Who is this? Give me 2 ambulances needed for 2 officers down, 2 officers down. 7637 Adam, 10-4, we got him.
Heartbreaking. These cops deserve our utmost respect, not the crappy treatment the defunded police crowd gives them. Officer French is gone, but her memory is not. These thugs shoot to kill with no regard to the people they're killing. They act like cops are the bad guys. They are the bad guys, not the cops. But don't tell that to Elevana Flores, the dirtbag who gave birth to these 2 monsters.
My boys was afraid. I'm afraid. Our young black women, not only young black women and young black men, like I just said, I'm afraid. Adults are afraid of the CPD. We fear our police here, unfortunately. We fear them. We don't believe in them. We don't trust them. They get behind us. Our hearts drop. We're scared. That's just the reality of it. Whether people want to hear that or not, I don't give a damn what people want to hear. I need to be a voice for my boys.
Let me get this straight. Your slimeball sons executed Ella French because they were scared of her? You're insane, lady, and your sons are going away for a very long time. Now here's Flores trying to visit her misunderstood, misfit son in the hospital.
I want to see my son. Oh, hold on. Monty! Monty! Don't touch me! Get away from me! Stop!
That whole family should be removed from society. Nothing good emanating from the Flores Morgan group. This is a total breakdown of law and order in Chicago. Mayor Lori Lightfoot is a total failure. She's overseeing a massive escalation in murder in her city, my city. She has lost the support of her police department. Let's not forget it was this Democrat who proposed slashing the budget of the Chicago PD by $80 million in the middle of a crime wave. Defunding the police, conviction rates near zero, thugs running wild in the streets, cops being treated like bad guys. It's no wonder Chicago, my hometown, has become Chirac, where law and order has turned into law and disorder. Joining us now to talk more about the surge in crime running rampant through our cities, former Chicago policeman and currently the president of the Fraternal Order of Police in Chicago, John Catanzara. John, thank you very much for joining us. You know, it breaks my heart when I hear that stuff, that 911. It must, you know, being a police officer yourself, what does it feel like listening to that?
It was not only heart-wrenching to hear it when I heard it the first time. Just to clarify, that was not an officer that rolled up on the scene. That was the third officer riding in the car with Ella French and her partner. He was actually the one that returned fire on the scumbag and stopped. It was heroic in stopping the violent attack that was there, so more officers, including himself, didn't get hurt. So I want to recognize the heroic actions of that officer. Couple of points to clarify, Eric. You talked about the conviction rate and everything else that's going on in this city and in this state. You know, we had a lame duck session in Springfield, Illinois at the beginning of this year that made it easier for criminals to be let out. There are going to be no bonds, no cash bonds going forward where scumbags like this are going to be let out. And the unfortunate part of that law, 3653, that they passed in Springfield, Illinois, eliminated felony murder, which meant 7 weeks ago, the driver would have been subjected to a felony murder upgrade because he participated in the crime that led to the death. Unfortunately, the enactment date for that law and that provision took effect July 1st, and he is no longer eligible for that upgrade. So the only charge he's going to face is the unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. He will not, unfortunately, be spending the rest of his life in prison because the politicians in Illinois just don't give a damn about the police. They're more concerned about coddling criminals and letting them run wild.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the politicians, because the police department and they're the politicians who kind of run the joint. Like I said, Lori Lightfoot, mayor, not only had the police department just doesn't respect her anymore for good reason, for things like this. Recommending cutting budgets of police departments in the middle of crime wave is insane. Having such a low conviction rate is just ridiculous. Some of the things you're talking about, letting criminals out of jail, it's basically, you're putting a big billboard up on the south and west suburbs of Chicago saying, do something bad, kill someone, blow them away, and you might get away with it. John?
Well, you know, I'll give you another stat, and I know it sounds shocking that there's only been 2 arrests for all the mass shootings, or 2 convictions, I should say, for all the mass shootings. There's been arrests, but more troubling is the amount of weapons that we have recovered, even in the face of this anti-police, and we're at fault for everything in societies. You know, this is the whole tidal wave right now. But our police department recovers more weapons than any other police department in the country. We recover more weapons, even now still, than New York and LA combined. That's just a simple fact. And we're on pace this year to even break the record from last year. The guns are, and these are interactions, you know. That dirtbag's mother talked, that dirtbag's mother talked about her boys were afraid. Those officers never unholstered their weapons. There was no reason for them to be afraid. They were simply having an interaction and a conversation with all 3 of the people of that car. They are the ones who escalated and executed Ella French, and they could all rot in hell as far as I'm concerned. You know,
and I would agree with you. I'm right there with you, John. But here's the point. You know, Chicago's one of the most difficult places to get a firearm as a private citizen. So if you're pulling this number of guns out of the hands of bad guys, that means in Chicago, just by pure numbers, you're less safe as a private citizen in Chicago because you can't get your hands on a weapon to defend yourself. And the mayor is trying to pull cops off the streets. I mean, it seems like I haven't been back in 15 years. I grew up there. I'm sure it doesn't look anything like when I left.
Well, it certainly doesn't. But, you know, we do have concealed carry now. So, you know, people do have the ability to get a concealed carry license. But the troubling side note to this whole story is the guy who bought the gun that gave it to the offender was arrested for a straw purchase and admitted to do a second straw purchase. He was let out on a low bond by a federal judge yesterday. Again, no accountability even on the federal level at this point. And I'm not saying he should have been held indefinitely, because he had no control, but he still bought a gun that he said he knew was for a convicted felon that could not get the guns. And just in case your viewers don't know, both of those brothers were convicted felons.
They're already
19 and 20 years old.
And that's the point. And that is the defense of the Second Amendment, why I'm so vehemently behind the Second Amendment. Even guys like these, the dirtballs like these, who are convicted felons, will get their hands on guns. They'll get their hands on illegal guns like they did this time. And we got to be able to defend ourselves against those types of people. John, I got about a minute or so. Tell, the relationship with the police department and Lori Lightfoot, is there any mending that relationship, or is it time for her to go?
It's been time for her to go. And, she tries to champion that this is all John Catanzara, and even our state's attorney says my membership doesn't support me. They're out of their mind. That's an easy narrative, but the reality is they have no faith in the mayor. They have no faith in the superintendent or even the brass. Not one single exempt rank member showed up at the bond hearings for both of these offenders, Eric. It is disgusting what this department has turned into, the considerations for the fallen officers and the ones left behind. They all got to go. And I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if our officers turned their back on her and the superintendent if they show up at the funeral next week.
John Catanzaro, thank you so much for joining us. We'll bring you back again.
Thanks, Eric. Have a good day.
Now, to continue this conversation, let's bring in former Milwaukee Sheriff and Newsmax contributor, Sheriff David Clark. Sheriff, we talk about Chicago. I can talk about Chicago till I'm blue in the face, but it's not exclusive to Chicago. This crime wave across the country. We're seeing L.A. murder rates skyrocketing. In Baltimore, violent crime rates skyrocketing. We are in a crisis with law enforcement and mayor's offices around big cities in the country. Am I wrong?
No, you're correct. Look, Chicago's a mess. Many urban ghettos throughout the United States. You mentioned L.A., even Milwaukee, my hometown. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. And you don't have anybody with the ability to do something about it. Look, we can come on these shows and we can talk about how terrible this is. I'm glad that you at Newsmax are putting the spotlight on it. But what we need is a comprehensive crime strategy. Now, I took 5 minutes this afternoon on a notepad to give an indication of what that looks like. It's real quick here. First of all, you conduct warrant sweeps. You go to your warrant desk, you get all violent felony outstanding warrants. You go out, you arrest those people, you debrief them. And then you try at least to have them held on bail. The other thing you do is you hook up with probation and parole. They have the authority under the law to do home inspections and car inspections of people on probation and parole without a warrant. They have the law on their side to be able to do that. You can go, you can find out who these people are. You can debrief them as well. Here's step number 3, quality of life enforcement. All right, stop, question, and frisk. Yes, the superintendent, David Brown, should order his officers to conduct those type of stops. Yeah. Let the ACLU sue you. Yeah. This has already been reviewed by the United States Supreme Court as lawful under the Constitution to do. You can correct or collect great intelligence when you do that sort of thing, vehicles that they hang around in, their associates. You log all this and get it out to the frontline officers. Also, the use of technology, ankle bracelets. Everybody on probation and parole goes on an ankle monitor. Anybody let out on bail, no bail or low bail, ankle monitor. You will know where they are at all times. So when there's a shooting in an area, you go to this technology, the computer, and you can see if any of these clowns that you have an ankle monitor on, a long-standing criminal, was in the area, and then you go to talk to him. And when he lies and says, I was nowhere near there, you can show him, here's where you were at 6 p.m., and then you start the debriefing all over again. So you have to do this full court press, constant pressure, constant harassment of these known criminals. And I'll tell you what, after 30, 60, and 90 days, because you need to monitor how effective your plan is and if it needs adjustment, you will see this violence, this indiscriminate, these drive-by shootings and some of these other things, you will see them decrease exponentially with a crime plan. If you can get that to David Brown, tell him he can have it. He doesn't have to attribute it to me. He can claim it for his own if he wants to, but it has to be a written plan. He doesn't have one right now. He's still talking about community policing, and he's still talking, blaming the gun. That's why this stuff continues, Eric.
Sheriff, I got to cut you off only because you're 100% right. All 4 of those are common sense solutions to a rampant crime wave in Chicago and frankly everywhere. But one of the number 3, the one you talk about, stop and frisk. Boy, I was here during that huge uproar in New York when they pulled stop and frisk from the New York Police Department. I'm going to tell you that I would say that is probably the most effective tool a cop can use to stop the violence on the street, stop and frisk, without having to go to a judge and get a warrant to be able to ask someone what they're up to and find out if they're holding an illegal weapon. But we're going the other direction. We got mayors, Democrat mayors around the country who are overseeing their police department saying, no, that violates the right of these criminals half the time. Very quickly, final thought.
But it doesn't, and the thing is, what we found out when we had historic crime lows throughout the 90s and the early 2000s, the bad guys, the crooks, the violent offenders, they stopped carrying weapons because they knew the cop would catch them with it.
Yeah, I love that idea, those ankle bracelets for repeat offenders. That's a great idea. Sheriff David Clark, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.